Hi, Mom. So I got my ticket home from Europe. I get back on June 6th, but it's a really late flight because that was the cheapest, so it gets in at midnight. But don't worry, I'll get a shuttle from the airport so you don't have to pick me up. Like, really seriously, you don't have to. Okay, so love you. See you soon. Bye.
So Christmas Duck. Christmas Duck is a fan favorite. He's kind of a mascot, I guess, and I think that's partly because it's a weird concept, a Christmas duck, and partly because it's like the first unique thing that you encounter in the game. It's kind of personified as like a little character, but the thing is, Christmas Duck was not planned. When we were starting the project, we didn't have a 3D modeler because Kate came on a couple months after we started, and we needed a bunch of 3D models. And so I was just going through the Unity asset store. So Christmas Duck, Christmas Duck is a fan favorite. He's kind of a mascot, I guess, and I think that's partly. Hi, I'm Steve Gaynor. I'm the co-founder of the Fulbright company. We made Gone Home. I was the writer and designer, and thank you for taking a look at our commentary mode. Whenever you find an icon like the one you just clicked on, you can find out a little bit more about the game. I want to thank everybody who's added commentary, Janman and Carla, my co-founders of the company, Kate Craig, our 3D artist, Chris Remo, our composer, Sarah Grayson, the voice of Sam Greenbrier, and Corin Tucker, the lead singer of Heavens to Betsy and Slater Kinney and other awesome bands. So thank you, everybody, and enjoy commentary mode. Yeah, the biggest purpose of the card was, to say, oh, Sam is 17, if you look for this thing. But there's so much, we need so much handwriting in the game, especially for like one-off characters that you don't see their handwriting more than once. And we knew we needed a birthday card from some member of Sam's more extended family that you were never going to hear from again. And so I was like, okay, it could be her uncle. And as an Easter egg, kind of like wink and nod thing, like, we're fans of, you know, the Looking Glass legacy of games and Deus Ex and Dishonored, and so I got in contact with Harvey Smith, who was the lead designer of Deus Ex, and the Goodfellow High School jacket and the logo generally is a reference to the logo for Minerva's Den, the the section of Rapture that that DLC takes place in, that we worked on together. But we didn't want to make it look exactly like the owl logo from that game. We wanted it to be, you know, an homage or a reference or whatever.
Yeah, so we decided that since this is a Pacific Northwest school and town and setting, that we would go for some native style representation. And let's see.
Well, actually, we were struggling with it for a little while because we wanted. At first, I was saying, just make it look like a very, 90s looking school mascot logo illustration that's just cheap, that maybe one of the students did or something, and the direction wasn't good enough, and we didn't really have a good enough example to work from. And then Kate actually came to visit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And she suggested, oh, what if it's like a Pacific Northwest Native American style approach, and that really just clicked and made total sense.
Sam. Sam. Hello. Sam. Sam, where are you? Really? I need to talk to you. Please be there.
Hi, Mom. So I got my ticket home from Europe. I get back on June 6th, but it's a really late flight because that was the cheapest, so it gets in at midnight. But don't worry, I'll get a shuttle from the airport. So like, really seriously, you don't have to. Okay, so love you. See you soon. Bye.
Hi, I'm Chris Remo, the composer on Gone Home. In my commentary tracks, I'm going to be talking a little bit about what went into creating the original music soundtrack for the game. Gone Home is an unusual game, musically speaking, in that it consists of two distinct music soundtracks. The one of those probably more frequently commented on is the collection of licensed Riot Girl songs that the player finds in Sam's cassette tapes strewn around the house. The other one is the original music that accompanies the player's undirected exploration of the house and underscores almost every one of Sam's audio diary recordings. When Steve first asked me to do music for Gone Home, I was really excited about it, but there are almost no parameters for what that meant in terms of format or scope. Having played an early build of the game, I started by just doing a few musical sketches with no real regard for length or usage, mainly consisting of vintage electric piano sounds like Wurlitzers and Fender Rhodes. I chose those instruments because I wanted sounds that would feel at home in the era of the game. The Twin Peaks soundtrack used a lot of Rhodes, for example, but would also blend into the background and not share much tone in common with the abrasive Riot Girl guitars. Some of the instrumentation and ideas changed from those first sketches, but they also contained one of the main themes that ended up accompanying Sam's arc throughout the final game.
Oh my god. You are so lucky you finished high school before we moved into this house. So, it's the first day of school, and there I am, introducing myself to the class, and I say that I just moved into the house on Arbor Hill. All of a sudden, every kid in the room turns and just stares like I suddenly transformed into a mutant. I just stood there, wishing pretty hard for a rewind button. Because now maybe nobody knows my name, but they all know who I am. The Psycho House Girl. Great.
Hello, my name is Kate Craig, and I was creating a lot of the environment assets for the game. Not all of them, some of them I had help with, which I'll touch on a little later, but most of the stuff like the walls and the floors, some of the larger pieces of furniture were my doing, and I'm going to be talking about some of the environmental storytelling aspects in Gone Home. I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't mention the work that my wife Emily Carroll did on the project. She did the house title image that we've used for our wallpapers and for the start screen of the game. She did the loading cassette tape, and she did the maps in the house. And actually, Carla made a font out of her handwriting because we wanted something that was just a little bit spooky, maybe a little ominous, but something that sort of suited the tone of the game. And I was really glad that we were working with her, and I was really glad that the other guys were too. We had a really good time. And people have responded quite positively to her title screen, which is something that I really appreciate, and I know she does too.
It's weird hanging out with girls. Daniel was around ever since I was little, and other girls? I don't know. But being around Lonnie is like instantly just right. I gave her the grand Psycho House tour and took my revenge on Super Nintendo. And it was like, I don't know, I finally found someone I feel normal around. I drove her home and she gave me this tape and said, "You have got to listen to this." I haven't stopped playing it since.
I was one of the hosts of the Idle Thumbs video game podcast for a year or two, and I go on there, and every once in a while, those guys are my friends. And I didn't want to put Idle Thumbs references all over the game, but I did want to have Idle Thumbs references in the game, so we localized them entirely to this one piece of paper. So almost everything on here is an Idle Thumbs reference, and specifically to a weird exchange that we had about Will Wright's GDC talk in like 2008, where he didn't want everybody to show up and crowd the place, so he gave his speaker name as Phaedrus, and then did a talk about a bunch of crazy stuff, including the idea of rocket mail, which was going to be like done by it was pitched by the U.S. Postal Service in the 50s and stuff. So, and then the thing on the podcast was about how Phaedrus had a little brother, and so anyway, whatever. The brother, of course, it's a Phaedrus, and you can't hardly see the icon in the back because it's obscured, but there's this 50s rocket icon in the back that's like the logo of Phaedrus Motors, and then also it's the reference that Will Wright was making, and that is a secondary reference here because it's a motorcycle thing, is that in Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, the book, the author is having kind of an ongoing exchange with this character from Greek history called Phaedrus and motorcycles and blah blah blah. So it's a big knot of obnoxious references to lots of different stupid things.
We're so cool, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're so cool, cool. We're so cool, yeah, yeah. Fuck you too, cool schmuck.
Lonnie brought her hair dye over today. She said, I need to fix these roots. Think you could help? Dyeing hair is weirdly intimate. I don't know if I've touched someone else's scalp before. That's pretty intimate, right? It felt intimate. We looked in the mirror together after, and I expected her to say something about how it looked crappy or good or whatever. But that's when she said, "You're so beautiful." And she was looking at me. Right in that moment, I wanted to say something.
A lot of Gone Home is about pointless interactivity that is sort of things being interactive for the sake of them being interactive, but it really comes from our inspirations of immersive sims like System Shock and Bioshock and Thief, where a big part of the design philosophy behind those games and Gone Home is that the world needs to be really internally consistent. And there's this feeling that if there's something that your character might do, you should be able to do it in the game. So in Bioshock, for instance, you can flush all the toilets and you can turn on all of the faucets, and that's also true in like Deus Ex and Dishonored. And sometimes, like the water fountains in Deus Ex give you like 1 health or whatever, but really you can interact with them because there's this expectation of, if you could interact with that, if you encountered it in this world, we should let you do that, right? So, all of the faucets in our game can be turned on, and they can be turned on so that you can turn them on, and you can flush all the toilets, and it extends into our philosophy behind you can pick up every plastic cup and toothbrush and Kleenex box, not because it's going to add a whole lot to your understanding of this world to be able to look at the underside of a cup, but to pay off that expectation and say to the player, yeah, you could pick that up and look at it, so we're going to let you do that, and it's going to be consistent interactively with the stuff that is important, and that makes it your job to look at everything and give it the life cycle of the condom.
That's not a real thing, Steve.
The Life Cycle of the Condom,
all right,
by Carla Zamanja,
is as follows. Initially, the condom was a separate plot point. It was an actual plot point. We gave it to Lonnie, and we had Sam find it in Lonnie's purse, and it made Sam worried about what the hell she was doing with it, etc. And that was sort of a wedge to drive them apart when that was the storyline, which it no longer is, and because we decided we hated it. But I had already made the condom asset, which I'm actually really proud of. I really like that condom. It's really good. Also, I think Nero is a really good brand for condoms. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a play on Trojan and everything, but it works.
But it's, it's the whole, notably decadent,
right,
it's like,
yeah.
Anyway, I like it. I'm proud of this thing.
And the specular on it looks really nice.
It does look good. I don't know. So we had this, extra asset lying around, and we were like, we were all, oh, it's a shame that it's going to waste, but whatever, sometimes things don't get used. And then we remembered the horror of digging around in your parents' drawers and finding their condoms and stuff and being just utterly fucking horrified. And we decided we would give that to you, the player.
cool, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're so cool, cool. We're so cool, yeah, yeah. Fuck you too, cool schmuck. I don't wanna sit around and talk about the writers. Work us the good old days. I don't wanna wonder if you're gonna say hello. I don't wanna wonder if you're gonna walk away. I don't wanna hear how many friends you have. I don't have any.
inside of this file folder, you find the first combination code in the game. This code goes to Dad's lock filing cabinet, and it's 0451, which is a bit of a tradition / in-joke amongst. I mean, it's not really an in-joke. It's just an internal reference amongst this lineage of games that hark back to immersive sims that are kind of first-person exploration games that started with Ultima Underworld and System Shock, and 451 was the first key code in System Shock, and then it was also the first key code in System Shock 2 and Deus Ex and BioShock and most recently Dishonored. And yeah, I've personally worked on a couple of games that had 0451 as the first code in them, and we were really adherent to the tenets of the interactive model and kind of the principles of design behind those games when we were designing how Gone Home works, and so to maintain that tradition, we also made it the first code in our game.
And you made it the tattoo on your arm.
I also got a tattoo of 0451 because it is sort of a symbol of this certain philosophy of game design that's important to me. And yeah, this writing breaking canon is in.
யாரா பேசிட்டு இருக்கா? கேம் வாய்ஸா இல்ல கேம்ல கேரக்டர் யாராவது இருக்காங்களா? ஆன்லைன்
Emily's handwriting is technically only in the font that exists outside the game. She doesn't actually do the handwriting of any of the characters, but yeah, I had her write 0451 in her very distinct handwriting, and I got a tattoo of it and figured I would use that source image as the image that you find on the inside of this folder here.
Oh, okay. Okay. நேத்தும் லைவ் சொல்லவே இல்லை, இன்னைக்கும் லைவ். ஆமா, முகந்தன தூங்க போறேன். 11 இது வரைக்கும் தூங்க போறேன். மதியம் பார்த்தேன். மதியம் வந்து ஏபெக்ஸ் மதியம் லைவ்ல நான் வந்திருந்தேன். ஆமா, ரேண்டம். ஓகே. நான் 2 பேரையும் ஃபால் கைஸ் கூப்பிட்டேன் 11 மணிக்கு மேல. நீ விக்ரம் பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கறா போட்டுருந்தல, சரி ஆனா படம் பார்த்து முடிச்சுட்டு வர கரெக்டா இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு நினைச்சேன். அவனுமே வரல. நான் என்ன முகுந்தன் நல்லா தூங்க போறேன்ட்டான், பிரபுவும் தூங்க போறேன்ட்டான். சரி அப்போ நீ வரலையா? 11 மணி ஆச்சா? விக்ரம் இன்னும் முடியல, எனக்கு கிளைமேக்ஸ் தானே போட்ட அப்படின்னு பார்த்தேன். அதான் அப்புறம் நான் இன்னைக்கு காலைல பாக்குறேன் லைவ் இருக்கு. நான் இப்போ உட்காந்து அதான் ஜெஸ்காஸ்ட் அது கொஞ்சம் விளையாடிட்டு இருந்தேன். போதும் தூக்கம் வருது. ஏன்னா நேற்று நான் தூங்கல. நேற்று உட்காந்து பிஎஸ்சி 3 டீம் வேலை பார்த்தேன்னா 4 மணி நேரம் முழிச்சுட்டு இருந்தேன். 4 மணி நேரம் முழிச்சுட்டு இருந்தேன். நம்ம வாய்ஸ் லைவ்ல கேட்குமா என்ன? புரியல. என் வாய்ஸ் கேட்குமா? புரியுது. நான் ஏற்கனவே அன்டில் டான் விளாட்லான்ட்டு போனேன். அது ஸ்டார்டிங்கே பயமுறுத்துற மாதிரி சார் அதுக்கு வெளியே விட்டேன். ஹெட்செட் போட்டு நைட் விளாட்னா வெளியே வந்துட்டேன். ஆ. ஆ. புரியல பேசிட்டு நீ பேசுறதே எனக்கு கேட்க மாட்டேங்குதா சரியாவே. நல்லா இருக்கு. அதுல 3 இருக்கு. 3 பார்ட் அப்படியே நெட்ஃபிளிக்ஸ்ல இருக்கு. அது நல்லாதான் இருக்கு. புரியுது அது. ஆமா. அது பேய் படம்னா பேயின்னு கிடையாது. அது பார்த்தா அவனுக்கு புரியும் என்னன்ட்டு. இந்த வாரத்துக்குள்ள ஜஸ்ட் காஸ் கேம் முடிச்சிட்டேன். பிளாட்டினம் கிளாசிக் முடிக்கணும். அதை முடிச்சா அடுத்த கேம் ஏதாவது சொல்லலாம். அன்டில் டான் அதான் அதை விளாட்லான்ட்டு இன்ஸ்டால் பண்ணிட்டு உள்ள போனேன்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டார்டிங்கே பயமா இருந்துச்சா க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிட்டேன். ஹெட்செட் போட்டு வேற உட்காந்துருந்தேன்னா நான் என்ன பண்ணேன், சரி அதை இன்னும் 1 வாரம் கழிச்சு விளாடுவோம். ஏன்னா பயமானா நான் என்ன பண்ணுவேன்னா ரொம்ப பொறுமையா விளாடுவேன். நான் தூங்க போறேன்னா வாய்ஸ் டிஸ்கனெக்ட் ஆகுதுண்ணா. ஓகேடா பாய்.
This is a severe weather warning. The Northwest Weather Service reports high winds and torrential rain conditions affecting the following counties: Austin County, Boone County, Dawn County, Takelma County, and Wistaria County. Residents are strongly urged to stay indoors and secure all windows and doors. Flood conditions are expected at lower elevations.
You know that feeling where the first moment you see someone, it's like they have a big gold star around them, and you have to get to know them? Well, there's this girl. I think she's a senior. She's usually dressed kind of punk. but sometimes I see her in this, like, army uniform. And she's always drawing in this notebook, looking so intense. I had no idea how I would ever, like, have an excuse to talk to her. Till I noticed she and her friends hang out and play Street Fighter at the 7-Eleven every day after school.
This is a severe weather warning. The Northwest Weather Service reports high winds and torrential rain conditions affecting the following counties: Austin County, Boone County, Dawn County, Takelma County, and Wistaria County. Residents are strongly urged to stay indoors and secure all windows and doors. Flood conditions are expected at lower elevations. This is a severe weather warning. The Northwest Weather Service reports high winds and torrential rain conditions affecting the following counties: Austin County, Boone County, Dawn County, Takelma County, and Wistaria County. Residents are strongly urged to stay indoors and secure all windows and doors. Flood conditions are expected at lower elevations. This is a severe weather warning. The Northwest Weather Service reports high winds and torrential rain conditions affecting the following counties: Austin County, Boone County, Dawn County, Takelma County, and Wistaria County. Residents are strongly urged to stay indoors and secure all windows and doors. Flood conditions are...
So these are all the VHS tapes, or most of them, in the house. And these in the TV room are from they only belong to Dad and Sam, because Mom has some VHS tapes, but they're up in the bedroom. And you can tell Dad's because he writes in a big, heavy, all caps style handwriting, and Sam does not. So, contrary to popular opinion, the X-Files tapes are not Dad's; they're in fact Sam's.
But stuff like JFK
Yes.
has an obvious dad interest, and some of the other stuff that we put in there was very much like, what is a dad movie?
Yeah.
You know, what is a, if when we were growing up, for instance, like, what is a movie that our dad or a neighbor's dad would have? So stuff like The Andromeda Strain or Moonraker, it's just sort of like, yeah, dads
love that shit.
Yeah, dads that were born in the 50s were super into that kind of stuff. And then some of it was, you know, stuff that we liked or remembered from when we were growing up, like you will know that Carlo was involved in making this game because Beetlejuice and RoboCop are on a VHS tape. That's most of what you need to know about Carlo.
That's true.
Right there.
Stay indoors and secure all windows and doors. Flood conditions are expected at lower elevations.
What's gotta be? Somehow I always knew that someday we'd be through. Now that it's happened, I just can't believe it's true. I've done the best I could to keep from feeling blue. Can't get you off my mind. What am I gonna
Voodoo, mildew, and shandu.
Why, Daddy, I didn't know you were here.
I'm right here looking at you, honey. If it ain't me, it's my shadow.
Do you think I sent you far away
I ain't been nowhere.
from me? I thought you'd stay away from me. But voodoo, you got me now. You left your voodoo all around.
I left my trunk in town.
Thought I killed the craze for you.
I hear you.
I dug my heart a grave for you. Got me.
When you live in one place your whole life, your next door neighbor is kind of like your default friend. And Daniel only got weirder over the years. So moving away has been a good excuse to, not see him anymore. But he did always have the good Nintendo games. Maybe I'll give him a call.
Without you, da-da-da-dee, la-dee-da. You for me, and nothing else but you for me. You've got me craving night and day. Come back and take me.
So you know what they say about the best laid plans of mice and men? Yeah, turns out it applies to Street Fighter too. At least I worked up the courage to walk into the 7-Eleven and ask for a turn, but all that practice at home did not exactly translate in the wild. So after I was finished getting my butt kicked, I followed them outside while they smoked. And that was when she asked me if I was that psycho house girl. But then she said she's always really wanted to see the psycho house. Her name is Lonnie. She's coming over tomorrow.
I feel like one of the best bits of advice was actually from the Fulbright team before going in to do the first recording. And it was a suggestion that I should watch some episodes of My So-Called Life, which was great because I'd watched them all when when they were actually on. It was one of those favorite shows my sister and I would sit down and watch every week. And so going back and watching them was definitely not a hard chore to have to do. So I basically went through all of the episodes I could find online in a couple of days. So it was a bit of a sudden binge watch of My So-Called Life, but it was great because I think watching My So-Called Life was a nice reminder of what a more natural presentation of a teenager is. So it was really, I don't know that it would have gone as well had I not done that.